Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 142 based on novel. So let's start. At the 6th level of the 5th tower. It was a boundless wasteland. On it were 10 enormous dark golden beasts, some either lying down or others walking about surveying the area. The space beast Kang, the targets of the 6th level, space beast, Kang. Luo Feng looked at the 10 space beasts. From his inherited memories he had already known the exact details of Kang. Accurately speaking, Kang and the golden horned beast had a special relationship. Among the golden-type space beasts, ranked top was naturally the one who stood at the peak of the 12, the golden horned beast. And ranked number 2 was Kang. Even though it was a simple difference of 1 rank, in truth the difference in their battle abilities was huge. The golden horned beast, once it reached maturity, it automatically became Sector Lord level. Kang at its peak, however, only reached the Domain Lord level. Even though it was one of the stronger space beasts, it still couldn't compare to the 12 leading bloodlines of the space beasts. However, Kang had powerful natural talents, as one favored by the gold origin laws. They had fierce and powerful attacks. They could naturally fly, even without any wings. None of the space beasts couldn't fly. In terms of battle ability, their average level was stronger than even the most elite of human bloodlines. These 10 space beasts Kang, their body length alone were 300 m. The tail was almost as long as the body. Its entire body was covered in dark gold scales and its back had sharp protrusions. Its head was extremely large, just the size of its bloody mouth sent chills down one's spine. Its teeth and biting strength were also incomparably shocking. The top of its head was shiny and covered in scales, and its corneas were triangular, filled with cold bloodlust. Howl. The 10 space beasts Kang all turned to look at the tiny human Luo Feng. Interesting. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with an even more chilling killing intent. When Kang meets a golden horned beast, what would happen? Right now Kang had met with a human-form golden horned beast Luo Feng, rumble. Luo Feng stepped on the dark cloud shuttle and became a beam of faintly discernible light. Immediately, the 10 space beasts became beams of lights and chased him. However, after 5 years of training, Luo Feng's speed on the dark cloud shuttle was much faster than even Rong Jun during his battle before. And much more nimble. In mid-air, 8 Luo Fengs appeared. The 10 space beasts Kang all blinked for a second. Almost as though they were confused as to which to chase, immediately spreading out and aiming at one individually. What arrogant punks. Luo Feng curved and simultaneously 5 golden lights floated around him. It was the 5 golden blades, and they immediately shot towards the head of the Kang that was closest to him. That Kang's reaction was extremely quick, using his powerful claws to slash at it. 5 golden blades, 2 of which clashed with the claws, the third 2 was knocked away by its tail, the 4th blade however pierced right through its throat, and right through its brain portion, killing it. Different from the golden horned beast, as a middle-level space beast, Kang had no internal world. Hence it didn't have an internal core, its life and soul was similar to that of a large portion of the flesh and blood life forms. Before reaching the Domain Lord level, the soul was in the brain. Howl. Howl. After losing 1 Kang, the incredibly intelligent 9 other Kangs understood that this opponent wasn't easy to deal with. Hence, they immediately stuck to each other and did not separate. It's no use, you'll just waste time. Luo Feng was very clear. Even though the space beasts were very powerful and quick, with terrifying natural talents and strength, a same-level human had no ability to match force with force against them. However, their one weakness was that their sizes were too immense. With a bigger physique, it created a dilemma against a human who was much smaller. Hence Luo Feng trained hard in absolute space and deities of the world techniques. Deities of the world allowed him to shrink and condense his size, the absolute space increased the nimbleness, instantaneous explosion, and raising his movement effect. To be able to create 8 images, plus being extremely familiar with the habits and weaknesses of Kang, even though Luo Feng took up to 10 days to finish this battle, in truth the battle was still simple and clean. The main thing was that last Kang, Luo Feng purposely waited till the last half hour to actually go and kill it. 5th tower, level 7. The space was a blur, Luo Feng entered the 7th level. The 7th level is much more troublesome than the 6th. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. As a spirit reader controller against numbers and surrounding attacks, he had an advantage over the fighters. However, that's because he had higher speeds to dodge and using movement and space to create an advantageous position. However, when the opponent's numbers are too crazy, anyone would be caught in a dilemma. This was an endless desert. In the distant green patch in the desert, there was a bumpy round ball with a diameter of 120 meter. Its surface emitted poisonous liquid, while poisonous gas surrounded it. 120 meter was akin to the 40-floor building. This 40-floor building mother nest surface with bumpy holes, all began to produce green mucus triangular brain-like bugs with outer shells, all with 2 horns. Their huge compound eyes all focused, their 2 hind legs supported their bodies, with 4 other legs in front. Their bodies were like blades, and on their backs they even had 2 translucent wings. Within the 40-story tall huge mother nest, every hole itself was at least 1 m in diameter. Almost in an instant, the surface of the mother nest had produced 1,000 bugs. After 3 continuous rounds, it produced about 3,000 bugs altogether, and all of them were the same green praying mantis. The green praying mantis was a very common cannon fodder seen in the Bug Clan warriors. Even though they were called cannon fodder, these were still cannon fodder that battled outside the starfields. Luckily, the entire power of the Bug Clan mother nest had been prearranged. Otherwise a true mother nest could produce many different species of bugs. From their abilities, they could be split into the scanning types, assassin types, long distance, attacking force, etc. If they were split according to their structure, that would be even more. 3000 green praying mantis. Luo Feng looked at the mantis that flew or marched over, as they covered both the land and skies. Creasing his eyebrows, the mother nest sent everything it could at one go. The next batch should be 20 minutes later. The mother nest required time to produce the bugs. These 3,000 were prepared long ago. Of course, in reality the mother nest's ability wasn't that weak. Otherwise how could it easily dominate a galaxy or entire starfield? Kill. Luo Feng's gaze was cold, immediately producing 8 images. Maintaining his highest speed, he began his massacre. He immediately released his limit of 9 blades. These 9 rainbows were like lasers, piercing through each and every bug, as they killed the green praying mantises, a bit stronger than what I expected. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. He could at will control the 5 blades. However, if he pushed it, he could control up to 9 blades. But that way, nimbleness, direction, and precision were all affected slightly. Because right now there were 3,000 bugs, Luo Feng decided to do so, killing as many as he can by striking their heads. However, kukai. The body of one of the bugs was sliced in half. However, it bit and swallowed the corpse of a dead bug beside, and it began to recover and completely heal itself. This is the most annoying part of the Bug Clan. 8 images immediately appeared throughout. The 9 blades danced about and pierced through time and again, working hard to pierce the heads of the bugs. However, as bugs of the 5th tower, their nimbleness and reactions were obviously higher. And they covered the land and skies and engulfed everything. Their speed was also much higher. Luo Feng couldn't dodge too far, he needed to stay close to fully control the Nanshan armament and attack. Hence he couldn't avoid getting hurt occasionally. 20 minutes later. There were still 682 bugs surviving. Luo Feng's face went pale, there was an injury on his face. The second batch is coming. That huge mother nest surface once again produced red-shelled bugs, a total of 100 of them. Not good. Luo Feng's expression changed. Blood praying mantis. And 100 of them the first time. The mother nest actually released everything, 3,000 green praying mantis. And every 20 minutes it could produce another 1,000 green praying mantis. However, it did not necessarily produce green mantises, it could produce even more terrifying bugs, however in smaller numbers. With Luo Feng fighting hard and killing over 2,000 of the green mantises, with only 682 left, if the second batch was another 1,000 green mantises, he may get heavily injured, but he could still win. However, this time, it was the blood mantises. These were much more intrepid and stronger than the green ones. In the first tower to the 4th, Luo Feng had never met the blood mantises at all. This is big trouble. Luo Feng's expression changed. The surviving 682 green mantises immediately formed a 100 little groups, some with 5 or 6 green mantises and 1 blood mantis, some with 7 green mantises and 1 blood mantis. Anyway, immediately there were 100 little bug groups. Under the blood mantis leadership, they began to surround Luo Feng progressively and began their hunt. I'm not afraid of their strength. What I hate the most is the blood mantis leadership ability. Luo Feng's expression changed. According to his inherited memories, the intellect of the bug clan was much lower. However, there were certain bugs that had the position of leaders within. And these blood mantis were often used to lead the little teams of green mantis. A dispersed and unorganized group of 100 green mantis, compared to 10 of them working together as one body led by a blood mantis, the latter was much more terrifying. 1. The 100 little teams were like a well-organized party. 70 or so teams attacked from above, while the remaining 30 or so attacked from the ground or even underground. That plus the blood mantis leading and acting as the blades. Luo Feng was in big trouble. Kill. Luo Feng grit his teeth. He could only fight it out. 5 minutes later, Luo Feng's right arm was broken, his expression pale, his spirit energy usage was extremely high. And with 82 of the 100 teams left, 82 blood mantis were leading 353 green mantis. Luo Feng killed a lot more green mantis. If I've reached the 9 thread level, pity. Luo Feng faced the overwhelming force of the bug clan from all directions, almost seeing the scene of him being devoured beforehand. Even if I die, I have to kill more. Luo Feng's eyes went red. Bug clan, all of you go and die. Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle, and his speed accelerating even more. Against the 82 little teams, he clashed and killed one green mantis at a time, and occasionally killing a blood mantis with great difficulty. Luo Feng fought until there was only 76 teams left, while his entire being had gone insane. Even under such strenuous situation, his whole being felt ice cold. This was the quality of the golden horned beast. Luo Feng felt a familiar ripple of space movement, gradually feeling slightly different. It's this way. Just like this. Luo Feng could even feel the square domain formed within the space, almost as though it was a 9-palace grid. Immediately Luo Feng's speed increased obviously a little. At the same time in his surroundings 9 images formed. 10,000 thread second level, 9 threads. Even though his speed had only increased a little, and there was only one more image than before. However, in truth, it was a change from the foundation itself. Secret technique. What was a secret technique? The secret technique was a way to unleash the strength after understanding the origin laws, reaching a more effective way of usage. If one comprehended the space origin law, producing 3 images, 4 images, 8 images, 9 images, he would feel the limit of his strength increase. Even though the difference between 8 images and 9 images wasn't too big. However, after training the 10,000 threads technique, this was completely different. Each thread represented a special battle technique. 9 threads, however, represented another special technique. If one reached 9 images, only then could he use the 9 threads. 8 images wasn't sufficient. And Luo Feng's Moshan clan clone trained for a long time. In truth, the Mosha clan could produce over 100 images much earlier. Considering it was favored by space itself, it could naturally unleash it easily. And while Luo Feng was in the virtual universe, his body had been stuck at the limit of 8 images. In times of crisis, madness, Luo Feng could finally feel that special feeling, similar to the Mosha clan using the 9 threads feeling. Because it was a familiar feeling, Luo Feng swiftly grabbed onto it. 9 threads, ha, 9 threads. I've finally made it. Luo Feng was extremely happy within. It was too difficult, it took so long for him to finally reach the second level 9 threads. Rumble. Following that familiar feeling of space, he swiftly moved the dark cloud shuttle and immediately became a string of images, every one of them dispersed. Following the layout of the 9-palace grid, the efficiency of the 9 thread was at least 10 times higher than the 8 images before. His movement was incredibly unpredictable. The golden blades too became nothing but blurs, with extremely high power. At times the blades even pierced through a few blood mantis and green mantis at the same time. At this time, after killing almost all the bug clan, he slashed open the mother nest with lightning speed, immediately heavily injuring the queen. Following which he rested for half a day to let his body recover and regenerate, before directly killing the queen. He didn't have to wait anymore. No longer waiting for 10 days, since the 9 threads had already been achieved. What was the point of waiting 10 days? From the beginning of the Loser's Circle duels till now, it had been over 5 years. 5 years of seclusion, 5 years of hard training, he had finally stepped onto a new platform. The 9 threads was a lot more terrifying than the 1 thread. His strength too naturally rose to a new plateau, to the next tower. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. 5 years of seclusion, the moment he exploded, it rocked the skies itself. The plaza. Over 1 million geniuses along with the Undyings all watched that one remaining screen. The only remaining participant, Luo Feng, suddenly unleashed his strength and produced 9 images, destroying all the Bug clan in a sweep. The scene had made all the geniuses go totally silent. 9 threads. He actually reached the realm of 9 threads. The scale-armored giant 13 watched the screen, his eyes giving off a heart-palpitating gleam. 9 threads, 13. Your Ganwu universe country hasn't had any punks make it into the top 20 for over 100 competitions. Who'd knew there'd be 2 of them this time? Ha ha, Moso is right. There are 1008 universe countries here, and you've taken up 2 slots. Around him, the Undyings all laughed and made fun of the scaled armor giant. Even though Luo Feng's performance was extremely shocking, to these pinnacle of strength Undyings in their own universe countries, he was still nothing but a punk. Didn't the AOGU Psi-Planet siblings both make it to the top 22? The scale-armored giant revealed a smile on his face. Ha ha, you punk, you actually know how to laugh. It's very rare. I've met him 3 times during this 100 eras. This is the first time I've seen him smile. He's proud. So, of course he'll smile. The surrounding Undyings were all chatting and laughing. There were a total of 1008 Undyings here, and the scale-armored giant was naturally sitting with those he was on better terms with. These powerful Undyings, some were friends, some enemies, some with distant or close relationships. Naturally they formed their own cliques and chatted. Ha ha, what do you all think of this Luo Feng from my Ganwu universe country? The scale-armored giant looked at the surrounding Undying, reaching the space-flying technique 10,000 threads to the 2nd level, and the Nanshan armament, capable of brandishing 9 blades, 1 dark green long-hair man with a huge nose, his gaze seemingly endless like the ocean, calculated, his basics are very solid, his temperament is steady and calm, and his potential is very huge. His current strength can rank in the top 10 inch. He can indeed make it to the top 10, within the training space. He can definitely make it to the top 5. Even if it's the true arena duels, he should be able to make the top 10. The other Undyings nodded. Training didn't exactly reflect a person's true strength. Because this training compared to the 1v1 duel was extremely different. A spirit reader controller on a spirit weapon could distance himself and attack from far. A fighter, however, had to kill until he is within range and attack. Also, with the automaton puppets and metal life forms and other beings that weren't susceptible to spirit attacks, it made it hard for some to unleash their full strength. Just like before, the absolute genius regarded as being able to make the top 20, the hypnotist from the whole Wing God clan, Jiolai 11. That hypnotist Jiolai 11, during his own universe country's selection, he only had to look at his opponents and defeat them. It had been relaxed all this while. However, during the training space, against the automaton dolls etc., his hypnotism had no effect at all, and all spirit attacks were useless. Hence hypnotist Jiolai 11 only ranked 189 in the training space round. Does this mean he was weak? In the plaza, over 1 million geniuses looked up at the screen of which Luo Feng was making his way into the 1st level of the 6th tower. Peng! A blood-hairy mammoth's tail hit Luo Feng's body, causing his movement to be disrupted. The already mentally tired Luo Feng fought hard to dodge but got hit by the iron hooves around. Following which, it all became black and he lost consciousness. Genius battle, the final participant Luo Feng killed 6,892 blood-hair mammoths. This was comparable to the previous rank 2 to 6, stopping at the 1st level of the 6th tower. Final rank, 3. Luo Feng felt the space before him turn, and after which he appeared in the plaza. The geniuses of the human race from the different universe countries all looked over. Luo Feng's gaze swept past them, swiftly determining the location of the Ganwu universe team and heading over. That's Luo Feng, final rank 3. I have never heard of him before. Yet he's that strong. Within this training space process, suddenly a lot of people popped out of nowhere. However, this Luo Feng, he belongs to the strongest of those that appeared. Hearing the various discussions about, Luo Feng walked back to the Ganwu universe team. Madman, you really gave me a shock. You are truly vicious. The green-haired youth windmill shouted. Luo Feng, congratulations. The other youths that Luo Feng wasn't exactly very close to all smiled and congratulated him. After all, 99% of these people knew they had no hope of making it into the top 1,000. Luo Feng, Rong Jun, follow me. That thick voice resounded within Luo Feng and Ron Jun's ears. Suddenly, Luo Feng and Rong Jun turned to look at an area within the plaza. The 1008 Undyings had already stood up and flew towards their own teams, of which the scale-armored giant immediately reached the Ganwu universe team and shouted, all of you head back to the living quarters. Luo Feng, Rong Jun, and the other 3 followed. The atmosphere within the large hall was depressing. It has ended, our journey has ended, ha ha, everyone, even though we've failed, we've still been offered to enter the Ganwu secret area. That's not bad too, right? Even though I'm weaker now, I don't believe that I will still be weaker in the future. We are only star level now, the training process has just begun. There is still the universe level, domain lord and sector lord level. Our journey is still far and long. Spoken well. Even if you enter the core of the virtual universe company, it's still extremely hard to become undying. And our Ganwu secret area too can produce eternal undyings. Right, let's go, we'll go drink. These young ladies and gentlemen all had the right to enter the Ganwu secret area. Except for a few that returned straight to reality, a large portion of them left towards the restaurant in the plaza. At this time, the 1000 geniuses of the Ganwu universe country split into 2 paths. Many of them entered the Ganwu secret area. A few entered the core of the virtual universe company. How the future unfolds, no one knew. The geniuses were still considered calm. The 1008 universe countries, however, were bustling with excitement, especially the countless citizens in the over 1 trillion galaxies within the Ganwu universe country. That was a gathering of over 1 million absolute geniuses from the many universe countries. In the top 20, there were actually 2 from their own. What degree of honor was that? Our Black Dragon Mountain Empire actually has a genius who made it to rank 3. That's the entire universe, is from our Black Dragon Mountain Empire. My god, Luo Feng is too strong. Entire universe, that's 1008 universe countries. The Black Dragon Mountain Empire was completely stunned by this piece of news, even though the Black Dragon Mountain star field could be considered vast and endless compared to the 1008 universe countries. That was simply tiny. Even the Ganwu universe country hadn't had a genius make it into the top 20 for a very long time, much less the tiny Black Dragon Mountain star field. There probably hasn't been one in the past trillion years. Luo Feng, Black Dragon Mountain, Luo Feng, Black Dragon Mountain, Luo Feng, Black Dragon Mountain. All of the Black Dragon Mountain's internal websites broadcasted this news day and night. Any footage regarding Luo Feng, the passion and support for him within the Black Dragon Mountain Empire had reached an unbelievable level. Even the Emperor of the Empire said excitedly, Luo Feng is from our Black Dragon Mountain Empire. He is the hero of our empire. This little star field that wasn't even worth a mention, because of Luo Feng, gained recognition from many citizens from other universe countries. Luo Feng is the hero of our Black Dragon Mountain Empire. A news broadcast spread on the Black Dragon Mountain Island sites. The Emperor exclaimed, he's from our Black Dragon Mountain starfield Milky Way galaxy. I've decided to officially give him his home, the Milky Way galaxy. From today, he is the leader of the Milky Way galaxy. The Emperor decreed. The Black Dragon Mountain Empire's imperial family were all prepared. In truth, the Emperor had already earlier on promised to give the Milky Way galaxy to Luo Feng. However, with the public declaration, obviously it was to raise Luo Feng's position even more. Luo Feng, to be able to gain such a reputation within the Empire, the work by the imperial family was nothing to be sneezed at. Bastard. Brolin sat in his study, gritting his teeth hard, breaking the cup in his hands. It's over, there's no more hope. The entire upper echelon have all decided to rope in Luo Feng. The imperial family, along with the backing sacred land Black Dragon Mountain, the upper echelon, all decided to use all their strengths to try and rope in Luo Feng, with his home galaxy and relationship. As long as he doesn't die, also with his rank 3 talents, he will definitely have enough power in the future even within the Virtual Universe Company core. Virtual Universe Company, one of the 5 great Leviathans, even standing ahead of the other 4 themselves. Even the 1008 universe countries had to respect the 5 Leviathans. The moment Luo Feng grasped solid authority, during times of crisis, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire would exhaust their resources to help him. As for that 9th Prince Brolin, he wasn't even considered amongst the upper echelon of governance. How could he sway any of the decisions by the Empire? It's over. Nuolan Shan looked at the screen, his eyes unwilling. With his status as a core member of the Virtual Universe Company, the moment they discover me, killing me would be as easy as killing an ant. Seclusion. Nuolan Shan grit his teeth. Unless I become stronger than him in the future, otherwise I'll have to remain forever silent, not leaking any trace of myself at all. Since it's come to this. Nuolan Shan's eyes gleamed coldly. Then I will go outside the starfield to the battleground. Otherwise I'd have no chance of ever exceeding him. Nuolan Shan was a ruthless and absolute person. To be able to survive 1000 life or death battles in the huge axe dojo, that was also a strong decisiveness. The moment he detected danger he left his nest. And now, he sat in a universe ship and immediately left the planet. Earth, OMG, what? Luo Feng is the leader of the Milky Way galaxy? North America continent, Washington base in America, a group of upper echelons were shocked. Leader of the Milky Way, how can that be? Before, the information we gathered from the virtual universe all stated that a universe-level warrior could acquire tens of planets as territory. Only a sector lord could be given a galaxy as territory. According to the information, sector lords are terrifying warriors that could destroy the Earth with a flip of their hands. Even stars, or the white dwarf planet, was nothing in the face of a sector lord. How did Luo Feng get such a gift? The upper echelon of America were extremely shocked. The 5 great countries of Earth, even though they were grateful to Luo Feng, however they weren't like the Chinese, bound by blood ties. The other countries were actually a little unhappy. Why did the leader of Earth have to be Chinese? Why couldn't he be from America, or India? Of course, no one dared to voice themselves, but the news now had completely stunned them. Attention all, please allow me to explain the meaning behind the Universe Genius competition. A golden-haired lady said, once you've heard it, I believe you'll all understand Luo Feng's current status, and what he represents. Why he can actually receive the treatment of a sector lord, Milky Way leader. Luo Feng sure is powerful. Old Wang, how many life planets are in our Milky Way galaxy? According to the information from the Virtual Universe Network, the Milky Way galaxy has over 210,000 life planets. Over 210,000 life planets. And they are suddenly all Luo Feng's? All right, fight for our Earth. He's also fought for the name of our Chinese people. We Chinese, even though we've been regarded as aboriginals, however from us a genius has appeared and made it to rank 3 amongst the entire universe. The 5 great countries of Earth, all the leaders of the bases received the news, all dumbfounded by the Milky Way galaxy leader news. However, the leaders didn't tell the ordinary citizens. In truth, the majority of the people of Earth still didn't understand much about the universe. The upper echelons of Earth didn't want to allow them to connect with the universe that quickly either. 3 Road Brothers improvement are really shocking. Sitting cross-legged in a cottage, the black-clothed youth Hong opened his eyes. I can't relax either. Teacher sure has weird friends, and Undying is actually willing to live on a planet without any technology. His gaze swept through the cottage, looking at the outside world and hundreds of kilometers of sky. In that sky were several wild men dressed in animal fur flying about. This planet was the living quarters of an Undying. The entire planet was conditioned in a very primal state. The humans of the planet all forced out their potential energies and gradually created sects. And this was the living quarters of an Undying. These sects didn't even seem to know there was an Undying of the universe living here. Hong, let's go. The time sector Lord Luo suddenly appeared in front of the cottage. Hong immediately stood up and flew, sitting in a universe ship and leaving the planet. The aboriginal sects of the planet didn't even know that 2 strong warriors of the universe had just passed through. Not bad, I allow you to rest. Lord Wu shouted, not enough, still not enough. 30 has already made it to rank 3. My improvement is still not enough. On Mars of the solar system, Thunder God was training according to Lord Wu's plans, improving himself. Luo Feng didn't seem to know that his being ranked 3 TD in the entire universe had such an influence. He was with Rong Jun and the other 3, listening to the lecture from the scale-armored giant. Tomorrow the duels to get the remaining slots depend on your performance. Understood? You 3 can leave first. Luo Feng and Rong Jun stay. The scale-armored giant said. Immediately the 3 other youths left the huge room respectfully, leaving behind only Luo Feng and Rong Jun. The scale-armored giant's gaze landed on the 2 of them. Rank 13, rank 3. The giant's voice was thick and powerful. That powerful pressure caused both Luo Feng and Rong Jun to barely be able to maintain standing. Are you both feeling proud within, thinking you are very strong? No. Savage Rong Jun said. The training space doesn't prove anything. Luo Feng said too. The scale-armored giant roared slightly. It's good you 2 still managed to keep calm and collected, not letting this small honor and glory get to your heads. Right? Luo Feng, what you said was right. The training space doesn't prove anything. Let me tell you, the top 10 of the training space consist of 2 fighters and 8 spirit reader controllers. Luo Feng's expression slightly changed. There were actually 8 controllers in the top 10. Understand, this training space has a big advantage to spirit reader controllers. Next to fighters. To Hynoptists, it's the worst. The giant said. That howling god clan genius Jiolai 11, many of us Undyings have regarded him as being of the top 10, however his rank is only 189. In the training space, to be able to make it to the top 20, naturally they are all strong, however some of them in the 30 to 50 ranks are not necessarily weak. Especially spirit reader hypnotists, they are all ranked above the 100s, in battle however it's a completely different story. The giant emphasized, hence you 2 must never get careless, otherwise, you'll be stepped on by others. Luo Feng and Rong Jun listened obediently. Of course, the training space does reflect some level of strength from the many Undyings here, watching the broadcast and concluding. Luo Feng, amongst our conclusions, you rank among the top 10. The scale-armored giant turned to look at savage Rong Jun. Rong Jun, you are within the top 20. Luo Feng and Rong Jun both remained silent. The giant looked at the 2 and paused for a while before saying, of course, in true battle, it depends on how you perform altogether, and also how you strategize and deal with your opponent. Anyone from the top 20 can make it into the top 10, the top 10 can still lose to anyone from behind. After all, everyone's strengths are pretty close, right? You 2 go rest, you've both acquired your slots, there's nothing for you tomorrow. Get ready for the final slaughter. Even though there are 1,000 able to enter the core, the treatment within has big differences. The core itself has its lower and higher levels, just like that death god Bolin. He'll definitely be able to enter the primal secret area. As for you 2, work hard and do your best. The scale-armored giant said. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.